Hello, good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. My name is Salom. I don't know. Tonight I'm here with
Eno Safo.
Coming up over the next 90 minutes, President-elect Mahama assures of using NDC's parliamentary majority responsibly. Also coming up,
Is there a problem you don't have a document? Why do you want to hold her responsible for that?
Recollation of some Eastern regional constituencies ongoing at the National Police Training College amidst heavy security. We have our correspondents there. We'll bring you update and tell you exactly what is happening at the place. Also coming up on Eyewitness News.
The NDC side of the transition team requested that this payment be put on hold pending further scrutiny and discussion to ascertain, first of all, the basis for the payments and whether or not it is even proper to make such a payment.
NDC side of the transition team begins talking tough. They also, amongst other things, warn heads of agencies that they will they would investigate or probe or post December 7 appointments and promotions, and same may be possibly reversed as concerns grow that many government institutions are undertaking mass recruitments prior to handing over in January. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories on Eyewitness News and in business.
Economic analysts back Mahama's call for IMF agreement review.
There is more business in the next 50 minutes. Eyewitness News is live across the country on all our affiliates and around the globe at citinewsroom.com. Your comments are welcome via WhatsApp line 0549 986 996. You can follow me on X at Selom Adonu. The hashtag, as always, is Citi Newsroom. Eno has our very first story.
Tension remains high at the National Police Training School in Tesano here in Accra as the recollation of parliamentary election results for 4 constituencies continues under heavy security. The exercise, supervised by the Electoral Commission, was relocated to Tesano after attempts to finalize the collation in the eastern region proved unsuccessful. The constituencies involved Suhum, Nsawama Duadri, Fantiakwa North and Akwatia have been plagued by disputes over the initial collation process. The NPP's Kwame Appiah-Kudia has been declared the winner for Fantiakwa North, while Ernest Kumi, also of the NPP, has been confirmed as a Member of Parliament-elect for Akwatia. Results for Suhum and Nsawam Aduadre remain outstanding.
All right, we'll go to the phone lines now and speak to our correspondent, Fred Duho, who is currently at the National Police Training School, where the recollation is ongoing. Hello, Fred. Good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News.
Good evening, Salom.
Yeah, so how many constituencies in all are having to be recollated at the police training school?
4 constituencies were scheduled to be collated here, and so far 2 have been completed. They are currently left with the last 2 to finish for the day. But the last 2 are equally, raising tensions in the both parties. Don't really seem to be on the same page on a number of issues. So I've just stepped out briefly so we avoid the noise in there. When I got here, already the Fantiakwa North constituency was declared before I got here, but I managed to get the result as I was told. And the NDC parliamentary candidate got 11,297. And the New Patriotic Party parliamentary candidate got 11,751 votes, or the collated votes, yes. So in that case, the Fantiakwa North constituency PC was declared the winner for the Fantiakwa constituency. Then they moved to the Akwatia constituency that I came to meet. So I was privy to what transpired. And in all, the NPP parliamentary candidate polled 19,269 votes. The NDC parliamentary candidate polled 17,206 votes. So in that case, the NPP PC won that seat. So those were the 2 seats declared in favor of the New Patriotic Party. As we speak, it's left with the Nsawam Edwejiri constituency and that of Suhum constituency, that they've managed to collate over hundreds of pink sheet results, and they are now they've shifted their focus to the pink sheets that they feel have petty errors on them, where both parties would have to agree on certain modalities before some of them can be accepted or totally rejected by the EC. And that is what is currently happening here at the police training school or the depot at Tesano.
I see. So really, in the first place, why are they doing the collation for Eastern Regional constituencies in the Greater Accra? If it's security they want, there is the Eastern Regional Police Command, which can, I'm sure, provide same security. Why did they have to bring everything to Accra to do?
What I gathered, the collation at the various polling centers, translating all the way or moving all the way to the constituency centers, were confronted with issues. Parties were not agreeing to what the outcomes of those results were, and so they decided to go to the regional office in Koforidua. They've been there to do the necessary collation, and that also was unsuccessful, and so an agreement was reached for them to come to this place to avoid the crowd and probably the intimidation on the part of some party supporters. They've now moved to this place with maximum security, where the police checkpoints are even more than 4 before you get to the main collation center. And when you get to the collation center, there are, tens of, a number of police officers present in the collation room to enforce law and order. We are fortunate to have the leader of the NPP, the majority leader, the Honorable Afenyo-Markin, once. Honorable, I thought we've gone past this thing long ago. Well, okay, let me allow for you to just introduce yourself to us on air. The Honorable Afenyo-Markin, the majority leader, asked, he wants me to put it, so I put it right. He says I should make it known and I should correct it, and so has been done. The majority leader, Afenyo-Markin, is here with us for us to engage him. But on a lighter note, I hear some of your opponents in there address you as minority leader here and there. On a lighter note, are you receiving?
Yes,
I see you smile when they make you minority.
It's okay. We take it on that score. We are in this together. That's all right. No problem.
Thank you very much for wanting to speak to us on Eyewitness News. Now, basically tell us, why are you at this center now?
Well, we're here to observe the process and ensure that due process is followed. This morning it started smoothly, and that is all we all want. We don't want vigilantes here. We don't want party men to come here with machetes threatening us. We don't want people with guns threatening and banging tables. At least in there, whenever there is any disagreement, the debate ensues, and then the EC officials will come in to settle the matter, and the processes continue. That's the beauty of it. We've successfully completed 2 constituencies. Is left with the last 2 for the day. We have the following outstanding constituencies: Ahafo North, Obuasi East, Techiman South, Ablikuma North, Tema Central, Ahafo Southwest to be completed.
But for the record, in the collation center now, we have Suhum and
we have Suhum, Adwejiri, and No. We have Suhum, Adwejiri, and Suhum. That is what is left for today. But I needed to point out that we have these other 6 outstanding constituencies that are also scheduled to be coming for further collation in the coming days. That's why I needed to state that. But so far, I'm happy with the process, in that at least the police is here protecting all of us. At least the EC officials are being firm and guiding all of us. At least party agents have the liberty to express their views, and that is all we expect. That's the beauty of democracy, and it's the reason why I earlier called on His Excellency President Mahama to take action and call the rampaging youth of NDC to order. Because what we witnessed at Okankwe Central, Ablekuma North, and other constituencies were unacceptable. And I feel that as Democrats as we are, it is important that the leadership of the party calls these party members to order. Because obviously, the way these boys are moving, they move organized. They move organized. It's not a one-off action. And you see party leaders joining them and leading them.
Which party leaders have you seen?
Oh, if you see the Okankwe Central, you saw members of parliament. If you watch the video, the Okankwe North, Ablekuma North, there were members of parliament there. If you go to the Tema Central situation, there were members of parliament in the video.
And there were party stalwarts on the part of the MPP as well present.
I am saying that their posture and how they were, frustrating the EC officials and forcing them to declare. We saw in the videos, all right? And that is what I'm saying, that it should not be seen to be happening. Let us allow the process to have its full stretch. Today, we all know what is happening in there, who has forced who. And if you see the NDC and their posture, they deliberately delayed the process. In Sawam Adwajiri, for instance, we were ready and they were nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, they were given 8 o'clock. If you check the Suhum process, they also delayed. Okay? I feel that the NDC must copy the example of Dr. Baumia. You cannot win in every situation. You cannot win in every situation. Where you know you've lost, graciously accept it. Dr. Baumia, within 16 hours after the election, collation process, even before the EC could announce, he came out to graciously concede defeat. And that's what I expect from the NDC in some of these seats that they know. In the case of Nsawam Adwajiri, their own compilation, their own collation, they have their collation there. When they saw me coming, they would try to hide it. I mean, they
don't hide. You are a party to this conversation or what is happening in there.
They knew.
The torn list of constituencies you have for which you intend to go after the declaration, the Ablekuma North. I was present at the collation center as well as the Okankwe Central.
So let's discuss it. Ablekuma North,
yes.
Were all polling station pin sheets collated? Tell me the truth.
So here is the thing. What I witnessed is that the NDC has some pink sheets and they do not have some. The NPP has some pink sheets. They do not have. In some cases, even the NPP said they only have soft copies of pink sheets and not hard copies.
Wait. The EC should have all the pink sheets. We had a process of scanning the pink sheets at the police station. I can tell you on good authority that in Ablekuma, we have scanned all our pink sheets. Yesterday, we inspected all the pink sheets at the party headquarters. All right? We are ready for the collation. We are not asking for recounting. We are not asking for any new voting.
Prolonging this, in my view, is that the EC, the referee in this game, has lost or misplaced some of his pink sheets, for which your opponents are not trying to trust what you have. You also don't seem to trust what they have. And we are all where we are now. Because even in here now.
Don't preempt the process. But you have every right to express your view. All I'm saying is that let us start the collation process in a peaceful atmosphere, in a serene atmosphere, where we have the police, we have independent observers, and let's see how it goes. That's all we call for. NPP, we are only calling for a peaceful collation process. We are not saying that even when we've lost, it should be declared in our favor. We've never said that. And if you look at all the places that we've had disturbances, these disturbances were caused by the NDC, where they had lost. Give me an instance where MPP youth came to scatter the collation process. Please, my brother, let's call a spade a spade. Truth is one. There's no single constituency where MPP, upon realizing that it was losing, destroyed the process. No, we didn't destroy papers, we didn't obstruct. All those you find wielding machetes and guns are NDC party.
They will equally point the same fingers at you, and then we keep marking time, and we are still here.
That is why at least we have consensus that all those issues should come to one center, with police protecting everybody, even the declared ones. My brother, where somebody forces somebody to make a declaration. Listen, let's be fair. If we don't all settle on due process, one day it will come back and haunt us. We want due process to be followed. We will not hesitate to concede where we think that we have lost. Our flag bearer demonstrated that, and we are saying that the NDC should copy the example of Dr. Bawumia. We did not. For the first time in the history of our country's election, a flag bearer did not wait for official announcement before conceding defeat, before congratulating the victor. Why can't NDC follow the same? And we are saying that we are proceeding on this in good faith. There is no bad faith here. If you look at the whole process, our friends, the NDC, who are rather frustrated. They are the ones frustrated it.
The list I see you hold in terms of the constituency left, there are about 8 of them.
For the avoidance of that, wait, let me mention them. Don't let us confuse the listeners. Ahafano North, Obuasi East. Obuasi East is where they took the PC into a room, locked him, threatening him.
Which of the PC? Your PC?
Our PC.
Okay.
That he should sign. He should choose between his life and going to parliament. Tepa, Ahafano North. Okay? The NADMO boss. That is his constituency. Where they burnt the NADMO office and all. My brother, if you come to Techuma South, you know they vandalized the police station, chased our party people with machetes and other offensive weapons. Tema Central was west. Ablekuma North, you witnessed it, you saw. The videos are there. Nobody can deny that. Ahafano South, East, West is also another example. And then Okankwe Central. So let us all follow due process.
Okay. So I am making the point that
all we say is due process, due process, due process. This is not about fight. This is not about insulting somebody. This is not about threatening somebody. This is not about shouting on top of your voice. This is about being calm,
let the process,
allowing the process to take its course, and that is all we call for. We are ready to accept. In fact, not that we are ready. We accept that we've lost the election, but we will not accept the attack on us. We will not accept all that attempt to rig even seats that we have won. That we will not accept.
Very well. If the NDC disagrees to the list you have here, how do you intend to proceed?
Read the regulation. If they say they won't come, the law allows for the collation process to be continued. Okay?
Okay. Now, the list you have here, I see about 8 of them. When you add it, what you've won so far, how many are we looking at?
Let us finish the process. Let us finish the process. As to how many seats we have in parliament and how many seats NDC has in parliament, you and I will get to know. You will know. The media will know. It will be announced in parliament. EC, after the declaration, will also have the rate of election gazetted. After the gazette, they will communicate to everybody. The gazetting of the result will begin the process of the public announcement of which party has which seat. A letter will be conveyed to Parliament. So let's focus on what we are doing.
Your cherished listeners want me to ask the very last question, that when you go into Parliament, where will you be sitting now that everything seems to be on the other side or in favor of your opponent?
My brother, this Parliament would expire on the 6th of January 2025. This 8th Parliament would expire on the 6th of January 2025. The MPP is the majority in Parliament. There is no doubt about it. The Speaker of Parliament made certain pronouncements. We disagreed with that, and we filed a process at the court. The court ruled in our favor. All right? The matter has been settled. The interpretation of the Constitution is to the effect that all those who were filed as independent candidates had filed for the purpose of the 2024 election. Therefore, it did not affect their tenure in parliament, in office, and did not affect the caucus they belonged. It's been settled. Therefore, I don't see any reason for any further controversy.
In the ninth parliament, will you agree with your people to select you as the minority leader to lead them?
We are in the ninth parliament. MPP. Say that in the ninth parliament, MPP will be in the minority.
And will you accept to lead them on the minority side?
I am the leader of the party in parliament, and if the party takes a final decision for me to continue, I love my job as a parliamentarian. I love what I'm doing, and I will continue to do what we're supposed to do, to also hold them to account and keep their feet to the fire, then protect the interests of Ghanaians. That's the beauty of democracy. You win, you lose, you win, you lose, and you must accept it and then move on, ensure that there's good governance, and then you build your country. Ghana first. Ghana first.
I want to thank you very much for speaking to us. That is the Honorable Afenyo-Markin, who just spoke to us on the subject of the issues relating to the unresolved constituencies. I would have loved for us to engage an NDC person as well. But still, that decision lies with you. If you want me to proceed, I can take some 3 minutes to engage the NDC.
All right, which of the NDC persons do you have there?
We have Peter Boama.
So just do a brief one. Let's see quickly.
Yes. Then, as I proceed to do that, I must say that the issue has to do with some of the pieces that were rejected. There are a number of errors on them that the parties are not agreeing to. Again, they are raising concern that they don't see the reason why the original copies will have different figures in some cases compared to others. Dr. Peter Boama Otokno, you are live on Eyewitness News on Citi FM. At what stage are we now with the collation?
Well, the collation is still progressing. For Instagram, we are based on the ground rules we established, as I mentioned in the morning. We have been able to set about 63 polling stations aside, because these are polling stations that in some cases the EC do not have the pink sheets. In some cases we do not have. In some cases the MPP do not. In actual fact, MPP do not have even the pink sheets at all. They only have some photocopies. But what we are doing is that when we mention the polling station, we check the documents we have and the ones that we can find and check the consistency in the results. Then we enter them. And so about 63 of them are flagged. And we are almost done with the rest of the polling stations, so that we can come back and look at the real situation with the pink sheets. You remember that we have had experiences in this election just a few days ago where they have reproduced the pink sheets and swapped the results. And those are some of the instances we are having. Out of the 63, at least there's one instance where the pink sheet that we have, the results is inconsistent with what the Electoral Commission is having, which is also part of the 63. And so we are still in the process of reviewing that to make sure that everything, the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, so that we can know.
Very briefly, your opponents say that some of the declarations that were done were under duress. And so they've listed all of them, about 7, 8 of them, that they will take them one after the other and go through the same process as we are witnessing now with those constituencies. What is your take on that?
It is most ridiculous for anybody in the FPP to make this statement, because right here in this room today, something happened that is contrary to these claims, if indeed they are making such statements. In it, what is the name of the place? Akwetia. The returning officer came here with the MPP group. Then they came to do the collation here without the MPP and the NDC. We requested for 2 hours so that our agents and the PC will move from Akwetia to this place. They refused. In fact, Chief Mensa refused and told us that she had to discuss it with the commission before they give us extra 2 hours to wait for our officers.
It was communicated to them earlier on that they should be here as early as possible.
Bad excuse for them. And that is the rest. Putting the returning officer under duress to declare the results. Shame has been done in Fatiakwano, where some officer who is not a returning officer has been brought here surreptitiously to redeclare results that have been declared already with the declaration sheet issued. And so if they are talking like this, that's why always Mosquito says that when you are dining with the devil, use a long spoon. Indeed, when you are dining with the MPP, use a long spoon because they are inconsistent and deceptive. Body under duress. They have done their collation. The NDC has won fair and square, and they have been declared. If they
all right. Thanks so much, Fred Duho, my colleague at the National Police Training College here at Tesano in Accra, where the recollation of some constituencies are currently ongoing. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are here to bring you all the details you need in respect of this. Indeed, there are some other issues relating to funds for the last 8 years. Baba Chairman in Tamale says, as an ardent MPP person, I get very disturbed hearing that there has been mass recruitment in various institutions. If true, why this last-minute mass recruitment when we have been in government for the last 8 years? Over 6 days from Courage in Koforia says, over 6 days after the elections, we have party people gallivanting around claiming they are doing collation of results. How are we sure if the numbers haven't been manipulated until now? Akapo Junior in Ahafumim says, members of the NDC transition team must stop casting aspersions on the current regime. They said they have solutions to our problems and Ghanaians give them the power. We don't want to hear them complain about the state of our economy. We take a quick break. We'll return and do more. Don't go away.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Hi Aku, I just got the estimate for the home repairs. It's more than we expected. I'm really stressed about where to find the money.
Why worry, Musa? You are a salaried worker. Haven't you heard about the GCB personal loan promo? They can give you up to 700,000 Ghana cedis in less than 24 hours at a significantly reduced interest rate and fees.
Really? This sounds exciting, but is it easy to apply?
Super easy. Skip the stress. Get the cash with the GCB personal loan promo with a 1-month repayment holiday. Just visit a GCB bank branch near you or call 0302-634-922. Toll free 0800-422-422. No hassle, no stress.
Wow, I just got a notification. The loan is already in my account. That was fast.
Skip the stress and get the cash you need with GCB personal loan. Visit a branch near you today. Terms and conditions apply. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Pepper powder, pepper ojawo, sankofa pepper powder, sankofa pepper powder, sankofa pepper powder. Abuna amonje kaka, sankofa pepper powder, sankofa pepper powder. Ojawo.
Fun fact. Did you know that most frogs can leap more than 20 times their body length? Yup, magical. Now just imagine your business with that kind of reach. Take that leap with Frog. Frog is a bulk SMS, voice messaging and IVR from Wiggle. User-friendly, fast and reliable. Get more features on one platform for all your bulk messaging needs. Whether you're a church, financial institution, school, corporate organization or individual. If you need to reach people with your services, do it with Frog. Contact 0553 019 529 or 0552 809 558. Speak to us at www.wiggle.com.gh. Frog, a leap into greatness.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You're welcome back. Let's do some more stories. The transition team for President-elect John Mahama has called for a suspension of last-minute recruitment and a 240 million Ghana cedi payment to a company contracted by the Electricity Company of Ghana. Speaking after the team's first session, spokesperson Felix Ofosu expressed concern about the timing of the payment, citing its potential strain on the public purse amid economic challenges. He urged the need for broader consultations to address these matters responsibly.
Worrying issue of last-minute recruitments and payments. I'm sure you have heard of various last-minute, rather irregular recruitments in some ministries, departments, and agencies, Bank of Ghana, GRA, the Ministry of Interior, and what have you. We need to place on record that these recruitments, especially regarding the time that they are being made, would have severe fiscal implications for the incoming government. For instance, we have picked up information, and indeed we've seen documentation relating to efforts to pay over 240 million Ghana cedis to an entity that is supposed to have done some business with the Electricity Company of Ghana. Now, if this was being paid to IPPs so that they could keep the power on, one perhaps would not have any issue. But it is being paid to an entity whose work, in my view, is not as critical as IPPs. So the NDC side of the transition team requested that this payment be put on hold pending further scrutiny and discussion to ascertain, first of all, the basis for the payments and whether or not it is even proper to make such a payment. So we raised strong objection to these maneuverings and requested that they be put on hold. The government side agreed to put it on hold pending further discussions at the next meeting of the transition team on Friday.
You heard spokesperson for the John Mahama transition team, Felix Ofosu Kwache. Tamale North MP, a member of the subcommittee on the transition team for the incoming government, Alhassan Suhini, has stated that all appointments made after the December 7 election will be reviewed and potentially reversed once the new government assumes office on January 7. Speaking to Citi News, the Tamale North legislator advised Ghanaians against hastily pushing through appointments and promotions during this transitional period.
That's why I'm cautioning those who are also beneficiaries of their actions not to allow, these, people who are the helms of affairs to damage their genuine case for promotion. Because, you may have a genuine case for promotion, but if you allow these things to fester and go on, your name is mentioned in it, then it becomes difficult when the new establishment is put in place.
Are you minded to go back to reverse some of these appointments that have taken place now as we speak?
That I can assure you will happen. That I can assure you will happen. Any untoward promotion or appointment that is done, especially within this period of the transition, will have to be looked into and probably reversed.
Tamale North MP, a member of the subcommittee on the transition team for the incoming government, Alhassan Suhini.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Felix Ofosu Kwache is spokesperson for the NDC side of the transition team, and he joins us on the line to help us address some of the issues that have been coming up. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. What's this we're hearing that you may be probing or investigating what you call last-minute recruitments happening at state institutions? Can you clarify that for us?
Well, at yesterday's meeting of the transition team, we raised issues with information that was filtering in about the secret recruitments that are ongoing in various MDAs. We have taken information that, for instance, in the GRA alone, over 700 people had been given backdated appointment letters when they had not gone through any proper recruitment process. They had not written applications indicating their desire to work in the organization. They had not gone through any tests or interview procedure. They had not conducted medicals to ascertain their fitness levels for the job they wanted. And they have been issued with backdated appointment letters. We had heard of several recruitments ongoing in the Cocoa Board, in Bank of Ghana, and other parastatals. We have also heard about payments of large amounts to some entities that are supposed to have rendered some services to public organizations like ECG and what have you. So we thought that this was most irregular, given that we are in a period of transition, and therefore any major decision
that is likely to have a fiscal implication for the incoming government must be discussed, and the consent and buy-in of the NDC side of the transition team must be sought before any such move is undertaken. But none has been forthcoming, and we thought that it was deeply concerning, which required immediate remedy. So we raised it, and when we did, we were told that at tomorrow's meeting, which will be the second meeting of the transition team, the matters will be discussed, and that a committee will be formed to look into it with a view to ensuring that the right things are done. So yes, it is true that these things are going on, and we are minded to forcefully insist that they are halted pending further scrutiny and involvement of the NDC side of the transition team. We do not believe that at this late hour it is proper for these things to be done when Ghanaians have clearly indicated that they want the NDC to carry on with the governance of this country, when we are barely 3 weeks or 4 weeks away from a change in government. And we are going to insist that the right things are done.
I see. So for those who have received the appointment letters or those who have gone through, we can excuse those, right? So the point is to stem it moving forward. The team's concern is that it should not continue. Is that the case?
Well, we will be scrutinizing all such appointments. We will be carrying out a review of all such appointments. And all appointments that are irregular, do not meet basic laid-down regulations, are in violation of recruitment procedures, will be reversed, as the Honorable Singini has indicated to you in the earlier interview. So it is not in the interest of both those who are being recruited now and those who are doing the recruitment to carry on any further, because they would only be leading the unfortunate recruits on the path to nowhere.
I see. So how is the transition process going? Early days yet, but the cooperation from the other side, everything. How will you describe it so far?
Beyond these issues that I've raised, which have happened on the blind side of the NDC side of the transition team, everything has been cordial. Yesterday's meeting was quite cordial. It was carried out in an atmosphere of mutual respect. The president and the president-elect urged us to work in a spirit of cooperation and mutual respect, and we followed suit. So it has been cordial so far, except that we will be carrying out the needed scrutiny to ensure that we have sufficient information about the state of the country that we are inheriting.
I see. So, take us through the structure as you have it now. Of course, the president and president-elect both appointed a number of persons to lead the process. Julius Deborah from your side, and then Frima Osel-Parry from the side of the governing party. Beyond that, we've seen the formation of subcommittees, etc. Take us through the structure. How does it look like now?
Well, the current chief of staff and the former chief of staff are co-chairing the meetings on behalf of the president and the president-elect respectively. They have delegated that function to the two personalities. Beyond that, each side has about 9 members or so forming their team. Beyond that, and in accordance with the Transition Act of 2012, Section 4 precisely, there are supposed to be 3 subcommittees. The first subcommittee, Organization Subcommittee, which is responsible primarily for organizing the swearing-in and cabinet. And that committee was formed yesterday under the chairmanship of Honorable Fishikuti, the General Secretary of the NDC. The Government Machinery Subcommittee was also formed, and this committee has the duty to ensure that the incoming administration is able to take over government, its machinery, and this involves taking over the functions of all the ministries, departments, and agencies and other allied bodies. They are to ensure that proper and adequate handing over notes are handed over to the incoming administration, and all information may be necessary for a smooth transfer is made available. The third committee is known as the Presidency Committee. Essentially, this committee has the task of ensuring the transfer of all assets and liabilities of the presidency, the vice presidency, ministries, departments, and agencies, and all organizations that work under the presidency. through the incoming administration. So these 3 committees were put in place. They were populated by various members of the transition committee on either side, and they have immediately gotten down to work to ensure that we meet the deadline, which is before the handing over is done. Of course, the transition team also has the option of setting up other subcommittees as may be deemed necessary to enhance the work of the team, and that is how come you've heard about subcommittees being formed again.
Very well. Thanks so much. But let me also take this opportunity to congratulate you on winning the AAK seat after the second trial. So congrats to you on that. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Eno gives us some more stories.
President-elect John Dramani Mahama has stated that the next NDC majority in Parliament will use their numbers responsibly. The opposition National Democratic Congress currently holds 186 seats, while the New Patriotic Party holds 79 seats. Speaking during a visit by the Chief Imam Sheikh Osman Nuhu Sharbutu and his delegation, Mahama assured Ghanaians that his government and parliamentary group would act in the best interests of the country. He further indicated that the NDC would avoid any action that could undermine Ghana's democracy. We'll bring you that insight later. But still on the president-elect, John Mahama also advised his future appointees to stay in the private sector if they are not committed to working for the benefit of Ghana.
I think that the people of Ghana realize the enormity of challenge the next government is going to face. And I think that that's why they're giving us this stamp of authority to be able to take the bold decisions that will turn our economy around and put our country back on its feet. And so I went through you to express my appreciation to all Ghanaians for what they've done. But it also puts a responsibility on our shoulders to work assiduously for the people. It shows us that Ghanaians are slow to react. But when they have had enough, they will punish you if you don't work in their interests. And so I make it a reminder to all those who are aspiring to work in the new government that it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be business as usual. It's going to be hard work. And so if people are not prepared to work hard and to sacrifice for Ghana, then they better stay in the private sector and stay wherever they are.
Let's take you to the earlier insert where President-elect John Dramani Mahama stated that the next NDC majority in Parliament will use their numbers responsibly.
My father and our fathers, that we're not going to misuse the majority we have in Parliament. Even though we have a huge majority, more than 2/3, we're not going to misuse it. We're going to consult with the minority at every stage and make sure that we do things by consensus instead of railroading everybody. Everybody knows that I'm a typical diplomat and a Democrat. And so I believe in jaw. I believe in consensus building. And I believe in democracy. I've heard some people call me Supreme Leader. I'm not Supreme Leader. I'm going to continue to work the way I've always been as a Democrat. And we'll continue to consult with our colleagues who are in the NPP. We can only move this country together if all of us work to move it together.
President-elect John Dramani Mahama. Now, President-elect John Dramani Mahama has stated that his government will investigate the recent election-related deaths of the incumbent government fails to do so. In the 2024 elections, tensions ran high in some regions, leading to reports of at least 3 deaths and several injuries. Speaking during a visit by the ambassador of the European Union to Ghana, Richard Ahiagbah, Mahama assured of his commitment to transparency and justice. He also promised to uphold Ghana's bilateral agreements with the European Union, stressing that his administration would continue to foster strong diplomatic and economic ties with the EU.
A lot of the foreign direct investment that comes into our country comes from the EU, and we want to deepen that, especially in the current economic crisis in which we find ourselves, where we are shut out from the international capital markets. And so we have to do as much as possible to increase foreign direct investment so that we can keep productivity, we can keep employment, and be able to find jobs for our young people. We are happy about the smooth and successful election we had. Unfortunately, there were a few incidents that have marred it, a few deaths, and it is our intention to investigate, what led to the deaths of those people, and if people are culpable, then they need to pay the price, for what they've done. And so, as soon as things settle, I hope that this government will start to investigate those incidents, but if that does not happen, we will do it as soon as we come into office.
President-elect John Dramani Mahama there.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll take a short break. When we come back, Citi Business News will be up next. Don't worry.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Gugomi, I want time where you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you have my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Caro, I said arrange the lace and the actual okay, kilo day. Ghana number. Hello, Oga Kwame.
Hey, Madam Kemi. I've received the fabrics and the colors are really nice. Look, I am going to send you your money now.
Same driver, same station, Abi?
No, I'm using my bank, GCB, to transfer the money.
Bank transfer, okay. The rate will be high, yo.
Oh, not at all. GCB Bank will transfer in cedis and you will receive it in Naira.
I don't see amo. This is your GCB now, Baba.
Transferring money across Africa is now cheaper, faster, and safer at GCB Bank with PAPS. Available in Nigeria,
Ghana,
Sierra Leone,
Liberia,
Guinea,
Gambia,
Kenya,
Malawi,
Djibouti,
Rwanda, Zambia,
and Zimbabwe.
And remember, PAPS is now available on the GCB mobile app.
Call toll-free 0800-422-422 or visit any GCB branch for more information.
This is a GCB and PAPS partnership.
GCB, your bank for life.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. My name is Inusafu. Let's settle for the details. Some economists have stated that renegotiating Ghana's deal with the International Monetary Fund and other development partners will provide the country more time to service its external debt. The comment follows plans by the incoming Mahama administration to review and adjust Ghana's existing agreements with development partners to better align with the country's current needs. In an interview with Citi Business News, economist Professor Patrick Asuming noted that the outgoing government has made insufficient progress on key fiscal objectives of the program, including boosting domestic revenue, streamlining public spending, and finalizing a comprehensive debt restructuring.
If you look at the debt restructuring that we've done, a lot of payments or servicing of external debt will fall due from after 2026. And in the first 1.5 years of the program, I don't think we've done the most important things to ensure that after 2026 we are in a position to comfortably service the debt. So my expectation is that one aspect of the discussion would be sort of to extend the program, even though because we are only halfway through, some people might say it's too mature to bring it up, but it seems to me that would be inevitable. And then to tackle in a more sustainable way the main fiscal issue. So I'm not surprised at all.
Professor Patrick Assuming is an economist. Finance lecturer with the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Lord Mensah has downplayed the significance of Ghana's recent GDP growth, emphasizing that the 7.2% expansion recorded in the third quarter of 2024 may not directly translate to improved living conditions for Ghanaians. Speaking in an interview with Citi Business News, Professor Lord Mensah urged policymakers to focus on a strategic restructuring of the economy. He highlighted the need for the agriculture and manufacturing sectors to take center stage in driving growth, ensuring that the benefits of economic expansion trickle down to the population.
Ghana, as we speak now, we're supposed to be in the production stage. We should be in a stage where the manufacturing sector, the agriculture sector are the ones driving our growth, not the services sector. If you talk about the services sector, then probably you are looking at importation and how goods are transferred from one point to the other. And you ask yourself, how many people can be absorbed into this sector? How many people can play a major role in this sector? And clearly, it tells you that, look, we are having growth, but the growth is leaving behind a lot of people as far as the job market is concerned. So that is why government keeps on talking about the macro indicators. We've achieved this target, we've achieved that target. But then the people are not feeling it. And that reflected in the election that we just had. The people, the voters voted purely based on the economy, nothing else. And for me, it's just, growth that you can hold it at the top. And then if you go back into some of my submissions over the years, I've been talking about at what point in time would the growth trickle down to the ordinary person? That is the question I've been asking.
Professor Lord Mensah is a finance lecturer with the University of Ghana Business School. Now, Fitch Solutions has indicated that scrapping taxes such as the COVID levy, e-levy, 10% levy on bet winnings and the emissions levy will have a minimal fiscal effect on Ghana's economy. This it attributes to the fact that the combined revenue from these taxes accounts for only 3% of total government earnings. There's more in the following report.
Additionally, the research arm of the rating agency highlights that the minimal fiscal impact is also due to the incoming administration's pledge to implement alternative revenue generation strategies. These include curbing tax exemptions and reassessing levies on imports and the mining sector, aligning with fiscal consolidation goals under Ghana's IMF program. Fitch Solutions maintains that Ghana's reliance on concessional funding for economic stability will ensure the continuation of cordial relations with the Bretton Woods institution. This remains the case despite previous comments by President-elect John Mahama about revisiting the agreement. The assessment follows the IMF Executive Board's completion of the third review of Ghana's 3-year extended credit facility, which has resulted in the approval and release of some $360 million to Ghana. The IMF in its review underscored the necessity of fiscal prudence, emphasizing that Ghana's economic progress depends on modernizing its fiscal framework, enhancing revenue collection systems, improving the governance of state-owned enterprises, and addressing lingering issues in the energy and cocoa industries.
That report was filed by Citi Business News' Ni Latte. The Office of the Registrar of Companies has indicated that the recent parliamentary deadlock has stalled the passage of regulations governing the Corporate Insolvency and Restructuring Act. Despite the delay, the ORC has reaffirmed its commitment to fostering a robust and resilient business environment. Speaking at a stakeholder engagement event in Accra, the Registrar of Companies, Jemima Owari, stressed the need for financial institutions, particularly banks, to conduct rigorous due diligence in their dealings.
We are currently, before Parliament, we have the regulations of the CIRA, but with the impasse that happened with the Parliament going on recess because of all the vacancy of the 4 seats and all that, I don't think we'll be able to have it passed this year. So we're looking at next year. Because we did actually lay it. It needs 21 days to become legislation. So we have the Registration of Business Names Act has always been there, the Incorporated Private Partnerships Act, and the Professional Bodies Registration Act. And the act is now saying, when you see any company just ending limited, Limited, and you see a certificate with that kind of ending, you should know that that company has not filed its annual returns, has not complied with the act. And if you are a bank or if you are an insurance company and they are coming to get a license from you, and you see any such name, please send them back to the office. Because clearly, they are not in good standing, they have not filed annual returns, they have not done the update they are supposed to do.
That was the Registrar of Companies, Jemima Owari. And that's all for City Business News on Eyewitness News. My name is Inu Safo. Up next is Point Blank.
Powder. Loco show. This advert is FDA approved.
Hello everyone, I'm Hanefri, the Health and Safety Manager of Total Energies Ghana. I want to remind you of the importance of road safety, especially as the festive season draws closer. Road accidents don't just happen, they are caused. Reckless driving, overspeeding, and poor vehicle maintenance are some of the leading causes during this period. Here are a few tips to keep you safe. Always ensure your vehicle is in good condition before traveling. Please wear your seatbelt and avoid distractions like using your phone whilst driving. Let's commit to responsible behavior on the road this season. Remember, safety starts from you. Safety for me, for you, and for all. Afishapa.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
It's 28 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome to Point Blank on Eyewitness News. My name is Selom Adonu. Tonight on Point Blank, we have a very active participant or active person in the just ended election as our guest tonight. He is in the person of Richard Ahiagbah, Director of Communications of the NPP, crisscross the country, communicated the message of the NPP to the rank and file of the people, but the people didn't appear to have bought his message. We'll find out why, what happened, and what the way forward is for the new patriotic party, the Great Elephant Party. It does appear that the elephant is being sucked into the bush, at least for 4 years. And the NDC is getting into what others have described as a super majority in Parliament. Almost a 2/3, with a few outstanding constituencies to be declared. What is the thinking around the MPP headquarters and in the MPP close quarters? Richard Ahiagbah, good evening. Welcome to Point Blank.
Good evening, my brother. How are you?
Very good. For someone who has lost an election in this manner, you look too good for me.
Well, I'm just resilient. The elephant is resilient.
The elephant is finding its way in the bush.
Yeah, no, it's around. It's not gone.
No, it should be gone by now.
No. This elephant is a homely elephant.
No, it doesn't have to be in town, because if it's in town, that would be an illegality. It has to be in the bush by now, or it should be heading towards the bush.
We have to be in Parliament. We have to be on the corridors of power, holding the umbrella accountable.
But what happened? I mean, because all of you guys were so confident, and also, of course, you were deceiving us. What happened? It was such a bloodbath. What happened?
Well, Salam, thank you very much, and good evening to your listeners and your viewers, if you have viewers. I think that the election happened, and the outcome now is commonplace. We gave every effort to this campaign, and we're clear in our minds that we have the best programs for the forward march of Ghana, and we're confident about what we had done with the 8 years given to us, which will expire by the 7th of January. So we're confident on account of what we had done and what we plan to do, which aligns with what Ghana should be doing, particularly the programming of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to ensure that Ghana is not left behind in the fourth industrial race. And so we're clear in our minds that we have the program that Ghana should buy and Ghana should need and want to implement for itself, so that we are competing with the best in the world. The outcome is the verdict of Ghanaians, and we accept it in good faith.
It does appear that sometime into the election, or even before the election, you had, quote-unquote, run away from the hard issues of the economy, and you are now focusing on things like free SHS great program and a few other things, digitalization, even though digitalization has some relationship with the economy, etc. Do you think that actually was not what the people were looking for? The people's focus was on the economy, and Kufuor Secretary was sitting in Neto Abapa, very powerful message, and that appears to have won the election again.
Well, I mean, this election is one that will be studied for a long time. And because if you look at it, to say that people voted because they saw their state of affairs or their state of life and then were voting based on that, it probably will not be accurate. Because
really?
Because if you see the turnout, if you see the pattern of votes, and I've heard people make this, they probably rubbish the position that the votes garnered by the NDC is not substantially different from what the MPP got in 2020, and therefore was almost a function of people not turning out to vote, especially in our stronghold, that really brought this about. Then you ask the question, is it really about the economy, or is an apathetic voting that we just saw? Was it caused by apathy or by people voting on the economy? And I can tell you that the issues are not that clear-cut. You see, the matter of the economy, we didn't run away from it. I think that we should have that conversation, and very soon the NDC will be changing their position on this matter to say that the digitalization is distinct and exclusive from the economy. It cannot be right.
It facilitates things.
Yes. So
it's
a continuation, because if you're saying that you're coming to grow productivity, you need digitalization. You want to mechanize, you want to advance.
But people were facing issues of inflation. People were facing issues of high interest rates. Inflation is a tax on the poor. I mean, those were the issues we were looking for. And you had before, you had spoken eloquently on those issues, only to take inflation to 54% and bring it down to 23%, and we were jubilating when you took it from 16%.
Yeah, but you know that even in this Akufo-Addo government, where inflation went as low as 7.9%, unprecedented.
It's happened before, really.
No, I don't think so.
In fact, I think the longest single-digit inflation was in the Mills era.
Yes, single digit, yes, but not below 8%.
They were around 8%.
No, yes.
But you got to 7.9%.
7.9%. And I'm telling you that if you look at our budgeting, right, and our forecast, it's always been that plus or minus 8%. But no government has gone below 8%, but we have. which tells you that we have the capacity to do that. And now clearly the conversation will be had. The NDC, they are going to be in power very soon, and they will find out the impact of COVID-19.
But I think the problem will, I don't know what the NDC might have said or might not have said, but of course we will find out later.
Yeah.
But you see, the difference between the MPP in opposition and the NDC in opposition is that the MPP spoke too much about the economy and said a lot of wild things about the economy. I'm not sure the NDC said. If the exchange rate is, if the fundamentals are weak,
it's a matter of fact, isn't it?
No, it is. But
it's
those
a factual
facts,
statement.
very factual.
Yeah.
But those facts were not in isolation. You knew that the structure of the economy, did a lot about those indicators, and the structure of the economy was not something you could change in 4 years or 8 years. It was quite
it's a process.
But you made a big deal out of it. So now the people's expectations were high. Now you are confronted with the reality, and we don't see that.
No. But so we acquitted ourselves creditably, to be honest with you. And then
inflation at 23, exchange rate at 40 or 35%.
I'm coming. I'll get to that. And we've had this conversation. The last time I was on your program, Big Issue, we went through that. The first 3 years of Akufo-Addo's government was stellar, right? The economy was looking good. That was when we chalked the 7.9% inflation.
And you recall my retort or my response to that. The fact that there were things happening in the previous government that had a knock-on effect. For example, I mentioned the oil fields. There were 2 additional oil fields that you began benefiting from. The NDC never benefited from it. You also inherited an economy that did not have the debilitating doomsday levels we had. So industry could work with power, etc. All those things they did not have.
What do you say about the government that inherited an economy without doomsday that brought doomsday? So really, that is not a matter to quibble about. The point I want to make substantially is that the economy was doing well. Okay, that the disruption of COVID-19 is manifest. There's a difference between when you are in speed and you want to increase your speed, but when you are at a stationary position and you want to accelerate, it takes time to accelerate, right? And so that's the effect COVID had. I don't think that we have taken time to process this quite well. In 2019. When your economy grew by 6.5, then you turn around fiscal year 2020 and the economy actually declined to 0.5%. It doesn't take the same momentum to push an economy that is growing at 6.5% to keep moving forward compared to when you have to regenerate the economy that was declining to the 0.5%. So that effort to bring back the economy after COVID is a big one. And then the second layer of impact, which was the Russia-Ukraine war, which today I think the NDC never speaks that as a matter of impact for them going forward, but that had a real impact on the economy. So if you see the double impact of these things created a problem for the economy that you needed time to regenerate.
COVID might have been a bad thing, very ominous, very bad, but it also came with its positives. Okay, so you had quite some amount of money that came into the economy as a result of COVID. Some monies we had in Ghana, Mahama and these people talk about it every time that they left, quite some huge amount of money in the stabilization fund, in other funds. COVID gave you the opportunity to liquidate that, and you used that. I'm not sure what is in there now. I'm not sure what you're leaving for them now. So COVID gave you the opportunity, unlock certain opportunities for you. Use that.
I agree with that position.
It will be unfair and it will be quite disingenuous to be happy at it one-sidedly when you know that the other side of it smiles. So you should balance it properly. So you give a fair assessment of the COVID
I think we need to have a dispassionate conversation about the inflows that came and how those were able to help you keep growth going, because the application of all those inflows were to preserve and protect lives. They were not direct investments to drive production. Most of them were not aimed for that. So most of the World Bank inflows were designed to actually preserve lives. So how that translates into economic growth and therefore then keep the economy
but it stimulated the economy somehow because spending is increased spending.
It's not direct production. It's not resulting from production. You understand? So that has an impact of actually driving inflation because like free money being thrown in the system. So it has impact on inflation. You can actually see that. But I'm saying that all of that said, the task given to Akufo-Addo to manage the economy, he didn't do bad at all. Take away, yes, I'll be honest with you about that. If you take away all the shocks that we've had, which are real shocks, historic shocks that we've had, this economy would have been a much better place than we are ending up in 2020, or we'll be ending up in 2025. But where we are now, I think if you look at this year, the first 2-3 quarters that have come, the economy is growing about, at the second quarter accounts about 5.8, and this third quarter is about 7% growth that has been recorded. If you add that and average it, will probably be about 6.2, 6.3 average growth, which then indicates to you that when you go to 2025, you have that momentum going forward, which will drive growth. So we welcome that. That must be noted, that yes, the economy went down, but the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia administration brought it back. So it's never true that during the campaign we ran away from the conversation about the economy. We were still having the conversation about the economy, but the thing was that the difficulty that was there, we acknowledged, was impacting people, but we have presented, Salom, here is the catch. We have presented a clear program to bring back the economy. And the evidence of the growth that you are seeing attests to the fact that given time, the NPP administration under Bawumia would have brought the economy back to pre-COVID levels, where we're growing 7% on average, and that was possible. And it's possible to achieve that, except I don't have confidence the NDC can do it.
I think they say they will do it. Let's see. I mean,
well, their track record doesn't give me that confidence. But
they are on record to have, superintendent over the greatest growth ever of our economy, 14% sometime in 2011.
But
that must also be noted.
There's a lot to say about that, especially borrowing from your narrative
about the oil.
About the oil.
Yeah, but we've also had oil all around. The two wells we talked about, they also did something to their economy.
Yeah, but you see, that was the, if you like, the vaccine that drove the economy at that point, because 2010 oil was discovered, in commercial quantity, production started, then boom, 2011 14%, fantastic. If you check the component, it shows clearly that oil played a part in that. We are happy that is the case, but apart from that high 14%, was the NDC able to expand the economy beyond that? No. The economy dwindled under them, especially when the economy
didn't dwindle. The rate of growth.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, I'm saying that's exactly what I'm saying. You understand? From that 14%, we never expanded beyond. And so, and then to the point where the economy was contracting when they left office. So my view is that if you put side by side what the MPP is able to turn out in terms of economic management and the NDC, it doesn't. The NDC's performance pales in comparison to the MPP. MPP does much better to the in terms of managing the economy than the NDC. But today we're talking about what they say they are going to do. And they have said all sorts of big things. And Salom, one thing I would, day one, I have decided in my office, I've created a certain Mac board, okay, for the
well, you won't take a break, you rest.
No, of course. You say governance is a continuum. But the point is that they have said some very ambitious things. They say that we said things, but there's things that they have said. Some of them are in the realm of clear deceit, but they say they can do it.
Like what?
Like that 24-hour economy thing they are
talking about. But they said they will do it.
I'm saying that it's in the realm of deceit. No, but they're saying that it's possible they will do it. So we'll mark them to do it.
Sure. So
you understand?
Great.
Because they can't tell you what it is. The last time they asked, our incoming president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, congratulations to him. I wish him well. Nothing, no ill feeling. I want to support him, and I will support him because his success is our success. But I just don't have confidence that this whole thing about 24-hour economy is not feasible.
So if he does it, what will you do?
Well, if he does it, then it's good for Ghana. But until he does it, we have to be reasonably skeptical about it because he can't tell us what the thing is. We don't know what it is.
In fact, in response to the same thing you are saying, when your flag bearer, the current president said it, he said he will hear it when he stops sleeping. And he didn't take it kindly. But that's the point. It's like, no matter how hard he tries to explain it, you guys say he's not explaining or they've not explained
it. Were you convinced? Are you convinced?
No, but
you know what the 24-hour economy
leave that to me.
But you ask.
Leave that to me. The people of Ghana believe this.
No,
and so the verdict
people of Ghana.
So the verdict shows that they believed in it.
No, but you see, that's what I'm saying.
And they think he's able to do it.
It's a good soundbite. Yes, it's a good soundbite. Nobody's convinced about 24-hour economy. I am not.
The same way 1D, 1F, one district, one village, one dam, and all those. were good sound bites.
So 1D, 1F is conceptually reasonable. You can see it. You can imagine it.
But the implementation was a problem?
No, implementation
because
was not a problem.
we don't have the factories across the country like you promised.
No.
Indeed, I was listening to a voice clip of your former General Secretary, John Boydu, who said the policies and programs the MPP is put in place. Very soon, we're going to import foreigners to come and work in Ghana.
Right.
Meanwhile, our unemployment rate before the election, was very high, 14.6 also.
Right.
Which was unprecedented.
Yeah.
So what happened to that?
So Salom, I'm saying that we have to defend our record, and we will. And we have defended our record reasonably, except that people don't want to accept that defense as the reasonable defense. To say that, but for COVID, we will not be having this conversation. I don't know so much to say.
But you see, the issue about COVID.
I don't know so much
COVID,
to say
I
that we will import people, but we would have created the requisite amount of jobs.
But that's
we
what
will
your
not be
Secretary
here.
said.
I'm saying that, perhaps it will end up at that point. But I'm saying that, but for COVID, we would have continued on that path of growth, attain even higher levels of growth going forward, right? But we're stampeded halfway by that unfortunate happening. And we believe that given the chance, we can do better. And that was why we're confident that Ghanaians would give us the mandate, or should give us the mandate, to continue the governance that we need to really engage and bring Ghana to where we believe it ought to be. But the NDC, I am telling you that on their social contract thing they have said, the first 14 days.
First 120 days?
Oh, yes. The first 14 days.
So they set up the cabinet and all
very
of that.
Well. We're expecting those lists to come out.
But is it difficult to put up the list? Just appointees, just throw the list out there, get Parliament to do the work. Is it difficult?
It's more complicated than you think.
This is the point. This is the point blank. My guest is the venerable Richard Ahiagbah, Director of Communications of the MPP. We're having a conversation, doing some post-mortem analysis of the election. The NPP suffered a very, very humiliating defeat, and he's been trying to rationalize and explain some of the things that happened. He thinks that the party did not run away from the economy. He still thinks that COVID and the RU war played a role, etc., etc. So now let's talk about the president, the outgoing president, Nana Akufo-Addo. People think that this election really was a referendum on his leadership. You agree?
Well, I mean, if you're in government, that probably is a factor in people's considerations. But to the extent that you would say other factors didn't play a role, I think that it would be overstretching.
Other factors like what?
Other factors like apathy, as we talked about.
But what caused the apathy?
The many factors that may have resulted.
Because if they had delivered, if it was good, if everything was fine, people would have come out to vote.
No, I mean, when apathy is not really necessarily only. It's not a singular, item that would drive that. For example, internal situations within our party, and you saw that reflection in our stronghold, right? The level of enthusiasm you will expect and voter turnout in Ashanti did not.
But how about the argument
Eastern region?
How about the argument that people have advanced that the people in Ashanti region, quote unquote, are becoming wiser? So the days of blind loyalty, are getting behind us. So the fact that you are MPP doesn't mean that you enjoy the support from Ashanti, the way you've enjoyed it. Now they will have to be a bit more critical and see if indeed you deserve that. How about that? You think the people are blindly loyal to the MPP? Again, they don't do the critical analysis?
I've never assumed that at all. People are loyal to the New Patriotic Party. If you go to Ashanti, the reason is the doctrinal position of the party, the ideological view of the party. They believe that this is the party that can drive Ghana's fortune on the basis of our values, and they think that. So that is firm. The problem we're having now is because there are some internal issues. Democracy lends itself to these kinds of division and cleavages to be formed in political parties, because there are internal elections that results in difficult situations, reconciliation, build back, and all of that. Those situations exist, and over time, and once you are in power, some of these issues fester and then create rifts that are difficult to fix. And we acknowledge some of those things are there. And much of our campaign, our focus was on addressing some of these residual matters that are contributing to the level of excitement that we desired but haven't seen in the party. And that really accounted. So for me, if you can assume that, yes, maybe in government, and so therefore people look at performance of government and vote, I think that the extent to which that will be a factor is minimal, and other factors play a role. I think Akufo-Addo has performed. History history will vindicate his performance. And I think that anybody who would conclude so hastily that it is a verdict on Akufo-Addo's government and therefore people voted against Akufo. I've heard people say that.
Let's look at how he deals with a few things. So, for example, here was a man who said, try me in 2015, 2016. We bought his message. We tried him. Now he gets into power. People say that the power got into his head. He became arrogant. I don't know about that. But people point to certain instances. So, for example, I think you were in that studio in Kwabre there. You know, where somebody sent a message or called in, I think a message about the roads in Kwabre, etc., and that they voted for them, etc. Kwabre, at the time, gave you your biggest vote margin also in the Ashanti region. And so they had a right to demand their fair share of the national cake. The president told them he didn't force them to vote for him. He didn't hold their time to vote for him. You were in that studio.
I was there.
That made a lot of people. That shocked a lot of people.
So
Togbe Fiti, is it Togbe Fiti? They have allowed chief also. Also in another studio, I think Peace FM studio also. And the chief says, I think it was quoted to him that the chief gave him some ultimatum to finish the E-block. And he said, is he the one to give him ultimatum? I mean, that wasn't it. Now, fast forward. We saw Akufo-Addo go around the country. Chiefs will sit. President will come greet. Now, he was calling them to stand up and greet him. That's our traditional leaders. People thought that a lot of these things did not sit well, were smacked of arrogance. Now he goes to a program, somebody was sitting, there was a national anthem, and he got so animated, instructed Henry Quartey to go, and all of that. And just the following week, same national anthem was being played, and his daughter was by him making a phone call. He was quiet. People contrasted the two. Why is the consistency? People put all of those things together and said, no, maybe this guy was not for real. Did those things come up or play out whilst you were going around?
No, I think, these are concerns that have come up, but the extent to which this would drive people's vote, I think that we need to study it a bit more to come to a conclusion. But I think
maybe you need Musa Dankwa to help study that.
But I've told you my position.
No, but Musa Dankwa has been vindicated.
No, I don't know about vindication.
No, Musa Dankwa has been spot on.
No. I mean, let's leave that matter. We can do a different one. But Musa Dankwa is not the focus here. But I'm talking to you about President Akufo-Addo, his personality, who he's been all his life. But what we cannot take away from Akufo-Addo is the performance he's put in. He has invested in our country. His investment would go a long way in history to be one of the presidents who have thought about the infrastructure of our country in terms of health and have applied resources to build 111, now 114 or so hospitals at a go. He's committed to making that investment.
He's not built them. He's only initiated some of them.
If you are giving us a mandate, because it's just because the mandate is...
There are some places we've not even started. You say there's no land and all of that.
No, but
so that he's given us 111. It's as if he's done it. He's not done it.
When I say committed to building, right? Yes, committed to building. Others could have commit themselves to building that over years, and by now would have had it, but then they didn't. He committed to it. He chose to invest in our future. The free SHS policy that we're talking about, we've talked about it so many times. But the point is that the commitment to do it. Look, the money invested in free SHS. The last time when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was talking about it, he said if he had 2 billion, he won't invest it in free SHS. But Akufo-Addo chose to invest that much in free SHS. The result in terms of electoral dividend was not manifest, but he was investing in the future.
But he actually hoped for it.
Sorry?
He hoped for electoral dividend, but that didn't come because of the other factors came up.
Yeah, but then you see, so yes, everything you do, you seek benefits. But there are those that you do expressly for immediate gratification. He didn't do that for electoral outcome for his party immediately, but he saw the need to remove an impediment that affected many, many people, and he did that. That for me is commendable. It's posterity that will judge what he has done. But I think that as to personal stuff and things that people will say, I think all of us have our fault. We're not perfect by no measure. And Akufo-Addo, by commitment and as a statesman, as a president, I think he has given what he has, and I think that posterity would return a good verdict on his leadership. But the truth for me is now where we are. the mantle is falling to the NDC. And I just wanted to make a certain observation. Look, we need to be careful, and maybe let's have a conversation about it. This whole thing about transition teams trying to limit what government can do in the meantime, I find that very troubling, because what it is that you're hearing signals. I think you spoke to Felix about some of these things where they are trying to stifle the government from continuing to do certain things.
But Richard, if you've had 8 years and within a space of 2 weeks, or
I agree. I'm with you.
Are employing about 300 people in one agency. That's a problem.
I'm coming. But the point is that the term of office is not expired.
It's 4 years, yes.
And so when we begin to do that, it sends a wrong signal that if you are an investor, okay, the potential, it just gives you a certain perception about the place that, okay, well, here a potential agreement can be reversed because of A, B, and C. And so, therefore, that does not augur well for our democracy. We need to appreciate what the Constitution allows. Until the midday of 7th, the President of the Republic of Ghana is Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Let's allow for his mandate to be expressed.
But is it not wisdom at this time to hasten slowly? Because you know that any huge decision you make will have consequences, like what Kufuor did in 2008. I mean, started implementing the single spine salary structure when he knew that there was huge financial and economic, implication for the coming government. The coming government was saddled by it. They had to find a way around it. I mean, delayed it a bit, but it was something around their neck. We don't want that for our governments, right?
Well, but you see, so are we not the same people saying government is a continuum?
No, it is a continuum, but you should hasten slowly. You couldn't do it all this while,
but that's
and just
when
you've lost. Of course,
that is not in the law.
Not everything is in the law. A lot of things may be permissible, but not everything is beneficial.
But
it may not be in the law, or it may be in the law. But the question is it beneficial? Is it proper?
But you see, so that's where there's a problem, because when people begin to put moral limits on things that are supposed to be legal, then you have a problem.
But you have a problem with an agency employing about 300 people in the last few days of a dying government.
I'm not even dealing with the specifics of what employment.
But that's what has come up.
Yeah. So for example, you are talking about recruitments that has been made into maybe security service and
last minute.
It's not. I don't understand.
Post December 7th.
I'm not sure.
And interestingly, they claim they claim that the appointment letters have been backdated.
You are the lawyer.
They've been backdated.
Well, they can. I don't know about.
If it's backdated, that is wrong.
But I don't know about that one.
Yes.
But what I'm trying to say is that let's not engage in our governance process as though that there's a minute in part of the mandate that must be left fallow. That a government that has that mandate cannot exercise it.
But they were working dangerous. I mean, in terms of the recruitment, I mean, they were working before December 7th.
Yeah.
And you see that there's discretionary
power. So forget about the specific issue.
Yeah, but
I'm talking about the principle.
That's what has come up.
No, fine. No. So if we want to do that, then we'll move away from the principle. I'm saying that.
No, for the principle, I'm with you. But that principle must be done being cognizant of what discretion or discretionary power gives.
My point is that if we appreciate that principle, then perhaps we may need some legislation around that, okay, to then be able to scale down. But right now, if you engage in that exercise, I think that is difficult. When we came in, there were some transactions that were done, and it became difficulty, but I had to live with them. You understand? Some were reversed, and some
and you
were
complained
attempted.
about it.
Yeah, we complained about it, but I'm just saying that complaint too is a problem. Why? Because you have a term up to a certain point.
So you think we should clean that up and make it clear?
We should clean it up and not get into the space where transition conversations are like, you need to stop this.
Very well. We need to go. But what's up for the MPP next? MPP is a lot of your colleagues are in the room. You call them, they don't want to pick up. What's up for the MPP? Heal and then do what next?
Absolutely. The New Patriotic Party, we are regrouping, and we're doing that rather quickly. Yesterday, a couple of meetings, and you have seen the candidate is meeting, the flag bearer has been meeting groups of people, regions, coming to engage him, talk about some of the challenges they faced and all of that. Yesterday, we met our diasporan group at the headquarters. A lot of conversations are ongoing. Even we in our communication team were trying to look at how we reposition ourselves and then engage the conversation that is coming. And so the party would regroup. And absolutely, the New Patriotic Party, as you know, as we're a very resilient political party, will come back. From next year, there is likely to be some committee that looks into the outcome of the election and see
the semblance of the Kosibocho report.
Exactly. Well, except that ours
yours will be made public.
The copies will be available.
It will be with your party general secretary.
The copies will be available. I can give you a copy. But clearly, what we're going to do is to make sure we support the government. We're not going to be disruptive, as our flag bearer has said, that we're going to be constructive in our criticism and ensure that they do what they say they are going to do for the benefit of our country.
Very well.
Powered various.
You heard Richard Ahiagbah, the unmistakable voice of the Richard Ahiagbah, Director of Communications of the MPP. Said the MPP is a resilient party. He looks good, actually. I was thinking by now he'll be moaning and struggling in bed. Thanks so much for passing through. This has been our show for tonight. The show has been produced by Nana Kwabena Wilson, Beverly in London, Sami Weafe, Nila Telate. Technical assistance given by Thomas Obindakun. Earlier you heard Eno Safo. My name is Salom Adonu. Have a good evening.